We are in such desperate times that sometimes a little bit of light relief in order to get over the severity of the situation in which we find ourselves is what's required. And that's where we turn now. He froths every week at us. I cannot believe that we are not going to see some significant overboiling. Dr. Roger Gewolb is CEO of Fair Money, personal finance and credit expert, joins me now. Dr. Roger, good morning to you.
Good morning, James.
Oh, you've got another badge on. I can't see either of them, as in what they say. Perhaps you'd like to share with us what your badges say?
Now, this one says, I'm right.
Yes.
And I don't know why you can't see that. And this one says, I'm left. I'm slightly confused at the moment, as I'm sure most people are.
Oh, okay. All right. Right. Well, I listen, I am right. But let's move on. Apparently, we've got to wake up.
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing situation. It's an unbelievable situation. Hollywood couldn't have scripted it. Clearly, Keir Starmer and most of the country want the Conservatives, want the government to go to the country, any country. They really want to be rid of them.
I mean, the Conservatives seem to want the country to go to the dogs.
And I just don't know how Liz is managing to hang on. But I think we need a bit of a wake-up call in the sense that, as people have pointed out, inflation is now at 10.1%. We've been raising interest rates for a year. We've gone from 0.1% to 2.25%. And has that really worked? Because inflation just keeps growing. This actually isn't the kind of inflation that raising interest rates is going to attack.
Yeah, but here's the point, though. Here's the point. The reason that interest rates have had to rise is more to protect the currency on the basis that the US economy has been growing, partly as demand-driven. They've been putting up their interest rates, and our currency has been falling apart as a result.
How's that going for you? Because
terribly, because we haven't raised them. They've raised them too slowly, and they've responded to
currencies at the lowest in 40 years, James.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you.
I mean, Wakey Wakey, it's not working. How long are we going to admit that it's not working while we're crippling the public? Liz, Lord knows what's going to happen with her. I understand she's consulting with green protest groups about how to glue herself to her chair at number 10. So I don't know how they actually can get rid of her. As for who should be the new prime minister, I said on this TV and radio station the other day, I predicted that because what the country and the Tories need more than anything is stability, that it will be Jeremy Hunt. Once he gets his feet under the desk and gets some stability in place, he might very well be seen as the natural choice for Liz to be asked to leave quietly, the same as she did with Kwasi.
On the basis,
and him
though,
to be slipped in.
Well, that may be, but on the basis that he was pretty much removed in the first round, he's not that popular with his MPs. Just very quickly, let's talk about the millions that Labour would spend if they were in power.
Well, that's billions. The other thing. I'm just amazed that all the politicians in their millions of words and the media commentators and presenters, and nobody really mentions the contradiction where Labour keeps talking. We have national debt of £100 billion, and Labour says they'd spend another £28 billion, maybe on climate change related issues. Well, if nobody's objecting to that, because no one said a word about that. They've argued about everything else. Why couldn't that $28 billion, or at least some of it, be spent on making sure that pensions and benefits do keep pace with inflation, that the NHS doesn't suffer, police, education, and everything else?
Dr. Roger, right, we're going to leave it there just for a moment. I've got a big bombshell from you still to come, and we'll come to that after the very latest news headlines here on Talk TV. We're going to take more of your calls. It certainly is. I think you and I need a slight amount of light relief. Let us turn our attention to Dr. Roger Gewolb, who was just frothing before the news. Dr. Roger, listen, we sort of ran out of time, partly because the phones had gone mad and partly because, frankly, you were overboiling with froth. However, you do have some light relief for us. If we want to invest our money into something, apparently you've got so much money that you want to go shopping and buy an electric motor vehicle. Perfectly understandable. I'm slightly intrigued by your choice.
Well, it's not for me. I wish.
Roger.
I only wish I did. But if you're one of those rare people that is not troubled very much by the cost of living crisis or the cost of borrowing crisis, then you can now get the newest electric vehicle on the market, which is the Rolls-Royce Spectre. Lord knows where they came up with a name like that. Who thought that up? Is it only for arch villains to chase James Bond in? Anyway, it costs a snip at starting at $400,000 US.
Oh.
It'll be delivered next year.
Yes.
It goes from 0 to 60 in just over 4 seconds.
Yes.
It's 16 feet long and 6.6 feet wide. It's such a huge car, especially for a coupe, that it actually needs 23-inch wheels, which is the first time Rolls-Royce has done that in 100 years. It's just got everything, James. And by the time you've finished your own personal spec, including the color of the umbrella that goes in the door, you'll probably spend a lot more than $400,000.
How lovely. Well, I'm so pleased that you've given us an insight into this, because I don't know about you. I've looked down the back of the sofa and I've nicked all the pennies out of there. There's no money left. There's no money left in this country. We'll have to sell them overseas. There we go. Dr. Roger Giebel, CEO of Fair Money, personal finance and credit expert. The Rolls-Royce Spectre. Well, Nick Sanderson, some of your residents, they might have a few quid. Do you think you might see a few of them kicking around?